Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Just know that energy is fluid. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Never force anything. Also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I do look at everything, but we focus more on the spiritual blocks and the karmic themes that are playing out to help you understand why everything's playing out the way that it is. If you're a mirror of whom what comes into your life, you definitely want to know why the universe would bring you people that are out of balance. And people that are out of balance are people that are toxic, people that don't love themselves, hurt people. So we want to know why these certain experiences play out so that we can heal the effects of the trauma so that we don't keep on reliving the same types of karmic experiences. Now, anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, you know where to find it in the description box below. Now, if you signed up for my shadow healing coaching, please reach out to me if you haven't received a link. I've been doing it on Zoom until the group gets larger. $7.99 will get you inner child healing, shadow healing, reparenting, and all the healing modalities to help you heal the effects of trauma. And also know that I have discounts on readings and other things. So again, please check out the description box for my merchandise and everything else. All right, let's jump in today and let's see what the underlining energy is. The underlining energy is always on the first and second card that I pull out. It's the underlining energy that tells us why everyone's doing what they're doing. Really important when you're dealing with a person that creates facades and illusions to make you perceive something. But people wouldn't feel the need to make you think something if they didn't feel flawed. All right, let's see what is influencing the reading. Could be you, it could be them. Nervousness. Okay, let's pull another one from this deck. Self-observation, self-obsession, rather. And I want to pull one more. I'm already getting stuff. All right, and narcissism. Which is exactly what I thought. I feel like you're in separation from someone that wants to come back, but they don't know how to come back because they know that they treated you really unfairly. They know that what you think about them, and they're kind of like stuck in, again, the self-realization of, what they did to you, that they were not just selfish, but I feel like they did a lot of other things. Let's see what those things were and why they did them. Let's see. Ooh. And if too many came back, we're gonna pull like five. How about that? Just to make it easy. So I feel like, first of all, you felt like this person was not 100% through in a previous relationship. And whether it was over or it wasn't over, that this person wasn't emotionally finished. And I say that because past lover, you said the display of affection that you have. And I feel like the display was not really like, oh, that this person was hanging all over them and being like, oh, like you so much. It was more that they were more concerned about that person's feelings, about that person's well-being than your own before they had told you that this relationship was over, because you would have never gotten into a relationship with a person that was still emotionally connected to somebody else. So, and what happened was like you felt like that ruined the passion within your connection because this person refused to like deal with it, that they avoided you. And they avoided you by withdrawing, not giving you the time and attention, and really just creating illusions that they were done with the connection, but that they had other previous obligations, but you were feeling like on an emotional level that there was still something more, that they weren't 100% finished. If they're putting someone else before you, then they're not done with that connection, and you felt that it was unsafe because you're like, you're doing what's best for you. You're not 100% done. Like this previous relationship, I feel like was pretty tumultuous. It was on and off, and it didn't just end, and so, this person that's connected to you, that's trying to open up a door with you and start a relationship with you without giving any time and putting someone ahead of you. So obviously you would not feel safe. And then what happened is like you were like really uncertain whether or not there's enough here, to really restore. I feel like this person spends so much time and energy on worrying about that other person and their comfort and their well-being that you're like there's nothing even to restore or build because the whole time you were worried about somebody else. Like if this person was good to you and nurtured the connection and fed the connection, then you'd have somewhere to pick up from. But being that, so much time has gone by that they've wasted and that they haven't given you time because they don't really know how to come back from this. They know that they were selfish. They know that it was a one-sided relationship. They know that it was unfair. They know that. And that's why, and they can also feel a shift inside of you where you're like, I don't really think that there's enough to even restore, to fix. What are we returning to? And like you feel that this person, like, you don't trust them when it comes to you. You're like, I'm on a path right now. You've spent too much time away, holding back, not giving, undervaluing this connection. Now all of a sudden you want to come back into this connection, or you still connected to me somehow, but you never gave me anything. So I'm not gonna put my energy into you because you feel like too much time has passed. You're on a whole different schedule. You're on a whole different trajectory. You know what I mean? Like you're somewhere else. It's like, and that's really what it is. And so you feel like you don't want this person to come into your life, that you have to like protect yourself in order for to grow. Otherwise, this person's going to come in and it's going to be all about fixing the connection that they don't really 100% know whether they want or not, or that they're not 100% going to give you their energy. But you're supposed to do that. When meanwhile, that means that you're abandoning yourself. And that's what you feel. And you're like, and there really hasn't been enough. It's not like you were here growing with me, pouring into me, you know, doing anything. I would just be letting you in to my energy after I did all the work. And you're like, I don't really want to do that. It's like, and so this person, like, instead of facing situations, they check out, they withdraw. So it's not that they don't have feelings, it's that they have addiction problems. It's again the way that they avoid. It's not, they cut off their energy. So you're like, I don't feel safe in a connection with you because at the end of the day, you're codependent. And there's still some weird codependent energy between you and your ex. You say that it's over, but you put that person ahead. You're more concerned about that person. The loyalty isn't with me, is what I see here. And instead of you dealing with it, you check out. So whether that karmic person that's connected to your person is making them feel that way, or whether they just feel obligated because they feel bad, either way, you're not getting what you need. And the thing is, it's like until this person actually, you know, confronts it, confronts the issue, like it's never going to be laid to rest. Like the situation needs healing at this point because you're like, you feel neglected. You feel like you're supposed to sit there and hold space for someone that might show up, might not show up because, they're concerned more about somebody else's feelings about, and that meanwhile they don't want to even face everything that they have to face with. There's just too many hard issues to really for them to deal with, to have a conversation with that karmic, so they don't. What they do is, it's again, the relationship's over, but they're going to still like cater to this person instead of really having like the talk that they need to talk, to have the difficult conversations. No. So the relationship never really ends, is what you know, that this person has been connected to somebody for a long time, and it's like, it's almost like they make up to break up, make up to break up. And so what you know is like what is going to be a temporary thing, because the whole time you're not giving me energy. The whole time you're concerned about somebody else because you want to be with me. So that person is not 100% letting you go, but it's your choice. It's your choice, and that it just clouds your vision. And where like you're not seeing things clearly. You want me to fall head over heels in romance, but you know what? Your idea of love and my idea of love are two different things. You're compartmentalizing. This is what you feel, Scorpio. You're compartmentalizing. It's like your idea of love is is to have me to be solely with you, to hold space for you, to let you use my resources, to let you benefit from the things that are in my life. Well, really, your intention is to, make sure that that karmic is more comfortable, because you're never really shutting the door fully with that karmic. There's still an energy, because the whole time they're focused on that person. And so there's a sense of why they, I don't know why they did it, because it's, again, the relationship isn't working out, but it's almost like they just didn't. And you're like, I'm not going to get caught up in a whirlwind that you're going to come in, get caught up in, this half-assed relationship, because you didn't really 100% let go of that karmic. Like, you're not fully shutting the door all the way, is what you feel. And that's like ending it. So all that you would be doing is, what you feel is bringing in chaos into my life, coming in like be really confusing, and where you're like, you're not creating strong roots at all with me. It's like you're forming an attachment with me, like you like, because you don't want to miss your chance. You think that I'm going to stay in a fog, but your spirit is telling you, it's, again, this person has different ideas about what love and intimacy are, and that they're hiding the real intention. And the real intention is that they would like for you to be in an entanglement with them, because they're not 100% letting go of that karmic. They just know that too much time has passed, and they're not really ready for it to end. They just know too much time that they wasted, because they don't know what to do, because hey, they know how they came across. They're like, they burnt down this bridge. It's just they don't really want you to move forward. So, but what they're banking on is that you still have feelings, where I don't really feel like you have feelings anymore, because of this person had put too many blockages within this connection. And this is what this person is feeling, as you're disconnecting. They're actually like have this epiphany, realizing that they're losing you. And, now all of a sudden they want to put the time in, but you're like, oh, you already showed me exactly who you are, and that you read between the lines, and that you're not going to get swept away. You're like, I'm not, it's like you already showed me everything. So, and this is the awareness that this person has now, because I don't really believe that they wanted to stay with that karmic, because it's, again, they were feeding you as well, and making plans with you, but they were, more concerned about that person's feelings, and then they don't deal with it. And what they wind up doing is conforming to what that karmic wants, and being like a martyr, because that makes them feel better. So you're like, oh, so you're gonna say me, like, make me feel bad. Like, you're saying that you want to be with me, but the whole time you're being a martyr to that person. You're conforming to what they want, but you're saying that you don't want to really be with them. So you're like, I'm tired of the rejection. It's like you've got impatient, and now this person knows that they're like stressed, because hey, they thought you were going to stay, and what they see is they're not, and that karmic isn't really that nice to them either. So Like this person feels again burdened, and I feel like part of them was staying and doing the extra things for that karmic to like lighten the load. Because hey, when they leave, and again, there's karmic consequences, they don't 100% know what that's going to look like. They're not strong within themselves. They don't know whether you're really going to want to stay with them, and they haven't fed this connection. So all of it just creates more and more and more anxiety. And so it's like almost like the family patterns of staying together when a relationship has ended. If this person grew up in a very religious home, or again, they're being influenced by family, like we stay together regardless. If the relationship is toxic, it doesn't matter. Everything happens, as long as we stay together. You can cheat, you can, deal with it, stay in your addictions, check out, you know, as long as don't look like a bad person, like, and where this person is like living the family patterns, and it just keeps them in really their bad habits. They never start habits, but they know they don't want to like lose you, because again, that's activating their trauma, the trauma that they already have where they feel inadequate. And so this person already feels inadequate. So they're connected to somebody else that's codependent, and that's how you know. There's not really love that connects this person. This person has a lot of fear of change. That's the problem. And they don't want the judgment from their family and from other people about leaving that situation. So, and there's a lot of sadness there. So it's almost like they sacrifice themselves and they stay like imbalanced, which is like that's all well and good, but then they're gonna, not have enough and create major trust issues with you, because they're not giving you the time. And so they're just staying in this inner child pain that they have, where they're the victim, but they're not really the victim. It's that they chose to do whatever they chose to do. They didn't have to could stay in this situation. It's like either you're in the situation or you're not. Fully end the situation. They don't want to end the situation because they don't know what life is going to look like when they get out. And that's like really unfair to you. They're not even thinking about you. They're only thinking about themselves. And again, what it's going to look like, how people are going to perceive them, and the trauma. So when we say again, well, how do they feel about you? I mean, just because a person's acting like this doesn't mean that they don't have love, but what we see is that they're on a low vibration. They don't have the courage to do what they need to do to be in a relationship. So their trauma will definitely trigger your trauma from how they're acting. But they might really truly have feelings for you, They're working on the courage to contact you, because they know that they have to. There's a part of this person that feels like you're their twin flame. Um, but they wish that they could give you more. They feel like they don't have enough, and now all of a sudden they wish that were there with them, because I feel like they know that you're disconnecting from them. So it's not like they don't have feelings. It's just they act like they don't care when deep down they really do. So they're not emotionally intelligent. What you're seeing is somebody that has very strong feelings for you, that knows that you're a twin flame, but they don't know what to do with this relationship because they're in a codependent relationship. They don't trust themselves enough to take the chance with you by fully leaving this connection. Instead, they're going to conform because they don't want to look like the bad guy, because they don't want to be that person. It's the way that they grew up, it's what they were taught. So again, the situation is definitely challenging them. And also, again, I believe that that karmic is putting obstacles in their way, not making it easy, because hey, that they don't want to lose like their finances or their security, or have to start over again. You are the first thing on my mind when I wake up in the morning. Like this person thinks about you all the time. They can't stand the thought of you with someone else. It's like, their anxiety is starting to kick up because so much time. I feel like I can be my true self around you, but they have unhealthy attachments, which is that, and they're battling inner demons. So they realize that they treated you bad and that they didn't mean what they say, and they wish that they could turn back the clock and do things over again. Because again, now they have this, karmic, and they're ashamed of how they treated you. And childhood wounds have influenced what they've done. So it's making them look and see how they treated you. Um, and they are uncomfortable, but this person has to learn to not run away from dealing with their problems. That's what happened. This person didn't really want to deal with this issue, that karmic. So they, pampered and they pleased and they gave in because they were overly, you know, hypersensitive to that karmic's needs because they feel guilty, but then in that they completely ignored you. And then they are expecting you to like deal with that. And, this person just, did it not for the right reasons. They run away because they felt like they couldn't live up to your needs and your expectations. And so, it's mainly because they wouldn't be able to because they were giving to somebody else the whole time. And that was what the problem is. I think that, the repetitive cycles is just what did it. This person would love a second chance. They want a new beginning with you. You're the first person that makes them feel this way. It pushed them into a spiritual awakening. They feel like they're making changes for the better, but they feel like you're not going to see them again. Like you feel like you've seen them already through rose-colored glasses, and that they have too many unhealthy habits and behaviorisms. So, this person's going to have to like prove themselves, and they know it. They know it because they know obviously if they weren't with you that there was somebody else and that they felt like they had to attend to, and you said something and they didn't fix it. So you feel like the loyalty is that this situation with this karmic wasn't supposed to be permanent. It was supposed to be temporary. They were leaving, but I feel like that karmic kept putting obstacles in the way because they didn't really want them to leave, and that your person was so concerned about their well-being and also to protect themselves because in leaving, oh well, maybe the consequences of me leaving are not going to be as grand as what they would be if I left like a complete jerk, like, right, if they didn't care about this karmic. But the truth of the matter is that karmic knew the whole time that they were not giving energy to you, and that's what they were trying to do. And your person should have known that, and they didn't care because again they didn't really fully want to shut the door fully on that connection. And I think that's why you're like, no, I don't want to be in an entrapment. It's like one-sided relationship, like you see exactly what it is, when meanwhile that person with them doing everything with that karmic is turning into an entrapment. All right, so you have to say, like, why did you attract this person into your life? Because what I see is that they're like still connected to that. It's again, there's something they're still hiding from you, and that's that person. And it's the unhealthy connections, and the habits and behaviorisms that they're allowed to still have while connected to that, right? It's again because they're not 100% faithful, obviously, to that person. If they were talking to you, they weren't honest to anybody, and so we look at the inner child wound and we see, let's see, why you attracted this person into your life, right? You're a mirror of whom what comes into your life. So we have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? And the first card out is misunderstood, um, friendship, overwhelmed, safety and security, physical touch, abuse, and imagination. Well, listen, whenever there's abuse, whether it's psychological or emotional, when it's physical touch, it tells me that there was a lot of emotional abuse, but also psychological, where you didn't feel safe and secure in the environment. you felt very overwhelmed. And so when a parent is, you know, imbalanced because, hey, they're angry, they have their own trauma, maybe their relationship isn't working out, maybe they don't have enough money, they're caught up in their own trauma. It's like it's very overwhelming for a child because then the parent can't give that emotional like support to that child. And if the parent chooses to stay in a relationship that's not really safe, like, and safe is psychological as well as emotional as well as physical. It's not just physical. Being with someone that makes you feel safe and secure. Where I feel like for you, you grew up with a parent that didn't make you feel safe, that there was psychological and emotional abuse, where that made you feel misunderstood. So friends were hard. Like you attracted many frenemies, right? Frenemies, not real friends. And it's like because of, hey, not really feeling safe. And when we don't feel safe and we were abused and emotionally we didn't get what we wanted, as children, we tend to give more in hopes that we can obtain it, to give what we want in return. Saying, well, I'm going to treat you the way I want to be treated. And so what happens is you wind up like continuing to like attract people that are users, like frenemies are users. Frenemies are one-sided relationships that are going to benefit from your energy, but they're not going to give much. They're not going to contribute much. So emotionally, you're not going to get what you need, and that's what keeps you in that same energy. And this person, emotionally, they didn't give you anything because they were too busy worried about that karmic. They were too worried about, oh, what's that karmic going to do? Maybe if I'm nicer and I conform, they're going to be a little bit nicer, and you're just going to hold on and you're just going to wait for me. And eventually, where that's not what happened because you're like, emotionally, I didn't get anything. So when there's that type of abuse where there isn't that emotional support, well, we detach, we disassociate, we go into the imagination. So the child that survives thrives because of that. So abuse, we can't run away. We're dependent on that parent for our safety and security and for the emotional security. So the way that emotionally we get fed is again through our dreams, through, the imagination. So I feel like you have a lot of psychic skills yourself. And Spirit says now to transmute the negative energy, take time to connect to a safe and sacred place within yourself, to retreat and rejuvenate. Take time to meditate, to connect to your higher self, that God part of self, because emotionally you're going to be led to the things that call to you, but you have to be able to feel and be in the moment and recognize when that higher self is signaling to you. So that's why we take time out to retreat and rejuvenate and know that you don't need to raise your voice to be powerful, that your actions actually spoke volumes to this person because you just disconnected. You said, I'm not going to like entertain myself in this. They're already tied up with somebody that they're like, it's a weird whatever energy. It's not a pleasant energy. But hey, they're going to stay there and they're going to be the martyr because, hey, they're not in a situation. So, you walking away and says, oh, no, I don't care. Like, that's not love. And that's what made this person see I'm not really attached to someone that I love. I feel guilty. I'm bound through guilt, through obligation, and that you have power and that you're on your own path. Even if like the path is not really clear, you're creating your own way, and that it's not wrong because you collected the deep wisdom from going through this experience, and that now it's time to nurture the light within you to guide you in the dark times. And that's meaning feed your passions, your hobbies, your interests, find yourself. And if you don't know what it is, it's time to go out and find that. Find the energies that resonate with you, and that's only by joining things. Maybe you never join things, so you're like, I don't even know what I would want to join. You have to start where you are. You have to utilize what's in your environment to help create yourself and understand everybody's path is different, but the path unfolds while you're on it, and you're being led through gut intuition, inner knowing when you take the time to meditate. That's why, again, Spirit said, again, take time to create that inner sanctuary. Then in the moment, in the now, you're going to be called. You're going to recognize those things, that you're going to recognize what doesn't work for you because you've already gone through situations. And that situation is not to be codependent. This person wanted you to be like in some weird entanglement because, hey, they're too weak to get out of whatever their situation is. So, again, to utilize your own passions to make a way where there is no way for you, and that is the right path. It's just the path that's less traveled because most people don't do what they want, they do what they feel like they need to do, is what Spirit says, because you have limitless potential. Nothing stops you except for you and your limiting beliefs. And that's really what you're doing. So, because again, there's nothing that's stopping you. You can achieve great things as long as you begin to pour your energy into yourself, is what Spirit's saying, and that's where you're supposed to be. This situation was just to help you integrate all facets of yourself. That was it. It wasn't, was to help you transform. That's never to be with this person, because this person was never on your vibration. They were someone that they want their cake and eat it too. They don't want to really let go of that person because of the benefits, because of the history, because of whatever it is. But you don't want to be in some weird entanglement because of it. So again, you know your worth. And that's why this person is like, they're a little upset because, hey, they don't really want to stay connected to that person by themselves. They need somebody else that they're passionate about, but then they get to feel like the big man or big woman out, right? That, hey, they're holding on to everybody. So everybody wants them. And so guess what? Person like that, no one winds up with. But one thing for sure, once you let go, this person is not happy. And it's all about the calm. Spirit says, know that, that this is the energy that you need to be in, to be receiving, open to receiving abundance to you. So breathe, live, and grow the light within you. Because again, that light is connected to God, connected to love. You have to be the energy of love to attract what you love, to be abundant. I do one thing at a time and focus on the present moment. I cast off my doubts, all fear dissipates, and I find peace in my being. So Spirit saying this is about you being able to stay calm and being connected to someone like that. You just would have been full of drama. So again, to integrate the spiritual lesson here was all about giving yourself what you need, regardless of the fact that somebody should do it. They say that they're going to do it, but you don't need anything outside of you. That you had to integrate the spiritual lesson of giving yourself that safety and security by giving yourself the emotional support that you never had when you grew up. I'm going to leave that there, Scorpio. You let me know how you resonated, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.